Behind me are the 113 books I read in 2024. In today's video, you will get my thoughts, my reasonings, and my ratings for every single one of these books. Starting off with January. Beach read. Two writers swapped genres, mixed that with tons of heavy, sad, not rom-com topics, and you will have beach read. I was expecting just a little bit more. The beautiful lines made up for the cringy ones. The book that FMC was writing in this sounds really interesting. Dare I say more interesting than the actual book itself. Is that too far? Still love this though. 4 stars. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Evil President Snow from the Hunger Games. In this prequel is 18 years old, currently in tough times, and is now a mentor to Lucy Gray. A performer forced to fight from the lowest district, number 12. This book provided so much insight into Snow's character and the world that the Hunger Games is known for today. I love this. It was so good. 4 stars. Maybe even 4.5. Daisy hates. The start lost me. The second half was amazing. Mix London socialites with crime lords and gangs. Know that I'm in love, deeply in love with Julian. Be prepared, there's a lot of footnotes. Christian is insufferable. If this book was just Julian, it'd be 1,000,000 stars, but alas it is not, therefore I'm settling on a 3. However, I will be doing a reread, so it might change. We'll see. Where He Can't Find You. Read this if you want Scooby-Doo vibes mixed in with The Descent. I like this, but it could have been so much better. The writing could be better. Certain elements of the plot could also be better. I'm settling on a 2.75 to a 3 star, within that range. Love Light Farms. This book took me forever to read, which is why I finished it in January and not in December. Like it should have been finished in, because it's a Christmas book. However, there's barely any Christmas vibes. The characters are insufferable. There is so much boring inner dialogue. It is actually the worst friends lovers in the entire world. 1 star. You will not like it. Well, you might. I don't know. Assassin's Blade. This is 5 prequel novellas, and it did a wonderful job of setting up my intrigue for the Throne of Glass series. 3 stars. The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I loved Evelyn Hugo. However, Monique, the main character, was giving me secondhand embarrassment with how she was treating and assuming things about Evelyn. I wasn't a massive fan of the writing style, but I'm glad I finally read it. 3 stars. Pride and Prejudice. I loved Elizabeth Bennet. I love that she was not a doormat. I did hate so many characters in this book because they were insufferable. Nevertheless, I still love this. There is so much talk about society and class structures and what that means for relationships and love and the connections that are developed between people and groups of people. This book explores family dynamics and expression of self and how that interweaves with the world around the characters. I love this book. Initially, I was thinking 4.5, but no, it's a 5 star. Crime and Punishment. 1,000,000 stars. A million stars. I love this book so much. Raskolnikov's inner turmoil and psychological torment after he becomes a murderer. The discussions of morality and who comes up with what is right and what is wrong. How guilt affects your conscience and your actions. How you interact with people. How forming connections, particularly of the romantic sort, and the other person's ideals can then therefore affect you. We then have the whole thing about redemption and forgiveness. Is it possible for everyone to be forgiven? Where is the line? What things can be forgiven? What things cannot be forgiven? Who decides that? This book is so good. Please read it. It is amazing. I love crime. This book, please read it, please. Literally 1,000,000 stars, 1,000,000 stars. Normal people, ignore the bookmark from my current reread. 2 deeply flawed characters, Marianne and Connell, are seen in this novel as they go through life from high school to college and try to navigate their own complex feelings for each other and the connections they make with others and how that affects them and their own relationship. How identity and self-expression and anxiety can influence the emotions that you experience. Does right person, wrong time exist? Are people destined for each other? Or is the point of life just to make connections with people who are also flawed like you? Be with them for the amount of time you're supposed to be with them, learn things from them, and then never see them ever again? The lack of quotation marks did not bother me. Neither did the shifting timelines of past and present, and then and now. I love this writing style. 6 stars. Now onto February. Divine Rivals. Magical typewriters. Letters between lovers. Journalists reporting in a war of the gods. From an industrial, gloomy landscape to a picturesque countryside with citizens that are living in fear, and it doesn't stay picturesque for too long, but still, the fear, the despair, yet the way everything is explored with such beautiful, poetic, lyrical writing. I love this book. 4.5 stars. Checkmate. They talk a lot about sex for a YA book. The male main character is apparently a world champion chess player, and yet he didn't realize he was in checkmate. He had to be told he was in checkmate because he didn't realize. And yet he is a world-renowned chess player in a competition setting. The character's sisters treated her horrendously. There was cringy writing, cringy dialogue. This cover is really cute though. 1.5 to 2 stars. The Inheritance Games. This old man dies and leaves this random girl billions of dollars. She just has to live with his family. who absolutely hate her and complete riddles and puzzles to solve the mystery of why she got all this man's money. There's a little love triangle. It was all right. I wish I read this when I was 12. I feel like I would have eaten it up so much if I was 12, but alas, I am not 12, so 3 stars. This 7-year slip. The beginning was a chore to get through. The characters definitely lack chemistry in the love department. There was beautiful writing though, beautiful quotes. The aunt carried this book, even though she was dead and wasn't like in the book aside from flashbacks and okay. The second half of this book definitely picked up. Sometimes the people you love left you halfway through a story. Sometimes they left you without a goodbye, and sometimes they stayed around in little ways. I love the ending of this book so much. Did I cry in this book? Yes, of course I cried in this book. Initially, after I first read it, it taught me so much about moving on in life. That's a little bit lost on me now, but I'm sure if I ever read it, the feelings would come back. 4 stars. Wait, you know what? I feel like being in pain. Guys, the medication I'm on is supposed to stop me from crying and stop me from being sad. So, like, even though I'm not sobbing, just know that, like, I would be, okay? Like, look, you can see the tears in my eyes. You can see the tears in my eyes. If only this wasn't a romance book. Like, I don't care about the romance. All I care about is the aunt and her. Guys, I'm getting off topic here. I'm supposed to be moving on to the next book, but I can't. Throne of Glass. I actually really like this, but keep in mind, I'm a very big beginner into fantasy. I do not read a lot of fantasy, so I'm very easily entertained. I really like the main character, the world, the plot. The idea was so good. I do just wish it was executed a little teensy bit better. Regardless, 3.75. Pet Cemetery. The new movie was better, and that is not saying a lot considering that movie was not very good. Again, too much. Okay, the new movie wasn't even that good. This was an interesting premise. It's a bit creepy, not scary at all in the slightest. It was alright. Love the cover. 2 to 3 stars, I guess. I wrote down here 2 stars, but I'm feeling generous now. Next, we have Magnolia Park's Long Way Home and Daisy Hates the Grandma Undoing. Now, I read these 2 books together in tandem. I went back and forth. Again, messy, toxic friendships, relationships, connections, so much drama. London socialite mixed with crime lord and gang. Sadness. Emotional turmoil, hateable characters that will do things that will make you so frustrated and so angry and so annoyed. But then there are characters that you understand them. They're so deeply flawed, but then you just also love them. Look, at this point in time, okay, I'm thinking a 4-star for both of them. But I really feel like this could be a 5-star. I really do. And again, when I reread, it could change. We'll see. The No-Show. The premise is this man who is dating 3 women at the same time. I feel like the characters, their personalities were a bit bland. I wish they were, it was, there was a kind of cool twist. It was okay. 2.75 stars. Anna Karenina, I would like to begin by just reading out a few quotes to you. She felt that alongside the love that bound them, there had settled between them an evil spirit of some sort of struggle which she could not drive out of his heart and still less out of her own. But I've always loved you, and when you love someone, you love the whole person as they are and not who you'd like them to be. They both tried equally in later life to cross out their recollections, all the ugly, shameful circumstances of that unhealthy time when they were rarely in a normal state, were rarely themselves. Death, the inevitable end of everything, presented itself to him for the first time with irresistible force. Now, if you're upset over a man, he's not worth your suffering over him, okay? He's not worth it, okay? Don't be suffering over him. 6 stars. Messy, unlikable characters, which are also likable in their own ways. Set at the end of the 19th century, follows certain characters from the upper class, then from the countryside and farmland where manual labor is to be expected, instead of balls and elaborate social gatherings. Intense familial drama, unhappy marriages, affairs, cheating, societal expectations and critiques on that, what's expected of you and your family, and what that can mean for your own self and your own happiness. Then there's Levin, a sad, lonely man with horrendous self-esteem, who was apparently a self-portrait of Tolstoy. That man needed to be checked up on, okay? But love this book, 6 stars, read it. Please read it. Now we're going on to March, The Cruel Prince. This book is so much better than the first sentence. It's the, typical human girl in a fae world. She is being tormented by these fairies. The main guy, he is actually mean, which, the book is called The Cruel Prince. If he wasn't cruel, that would be false advertising. Like you can't be mad that he's cruel when the title is called The Cruel Prince. Like, you knew what you were getting into when you read it. I love this book. It introduced me into whimsical fairy fantasy. The audiobook is also really good. 4 stars. The fine print. I read this because it was popular and I wanted to know what people were talking about. Basically, this corrupt businessman falls in love with his minimum wage worker. The audiobook saved this. You know what? I didn't actually hate this as much as I expected. It was cringy, but not as much as I expected. He also did a lot of sweet gestures for her. I'm thinking 2.5, maybe to 3 stars. I'm feeling really nice today. I've been good today. None of this is true. This had so much potential, but listen, a groomer, predator, stepfather-esque figure will never, ever, ever be a victim to a young, traumatized teenage girl. You will never convince me that the predator is a good man. You will never, ever convince me of that. You will never convince me that the traumatized young girl is actually the evil one in this predatory dynamic. You'll never convince me of that, so don't even. 1 star. Crown of Midnight. I really like the world, the storylines, the connections between characters, the connections the main character made with people. I loved the mystery and the fighting and the sadness. 3.5 stars. Please don't get mad at me for my opinions. We can agree to disagree. Daisy Jones and the Six. For all the hype, I was expecting more. I did not like the format, though I did think it was a sneaky way of getting around the whole show, don't tell criticism. Because, well, in this book, telling the story in a rather boring way is the point. The point is not to see all this fun, exciting stuff happen. No, we are getting accounts of it in a sentence or two. It would have been so good if it was in real time, because you know what? I feel like if there was a bit more self-reflecting, it could have worked. But the fact it just felt like a very lazy way, I don't like using that word, but it did, just to get around the whole show, don't tell thing. Because it's like, well, you know what? The whole point is that they're telling their story. We're not seeing it happen. They're telling it. There should have been more reflection for that to have worked. I wish the characters had more personality. Maybe it's just the way it was shown, but they were really dulled down. If you didn't see who was talking, they all sound the same. Everyone who was supposed to be cool and intriguing and interesting was just dulled down. It was fairly enjoyable and it was easy to read. However, 2.75 stars. Everything I Know About Love. Such a real and raw and yet entertaining memoir. Very fast-paced, especially at the beginning. Dolly's life stories are so interesting. She writes in such an engaging way. This book explores self-expression and identity, all under the overarching theme of the importance of female friendship. How your closest female friends are there for you during everything, during heartbreaks, during love, when growing up, when you experience loss and sadness, and how jealousy can affect these female friendships. I love this so much. There are so many valuable lessons and life experiences in this. 4.5 stars. Ruthless Vows, I'm gonna be honest, I much prefer the first one. This one was a little bit darker, a little bit more depressing. I didn't really like the landscape. I didn't like some characters that were kind of like reintroduced. I mean, it was alright. 2.5 to 3 stars. Anyone who I'm annoying with saying these kinds of ratings, I'm sorry, I'm indecisive, I don't know. People are about to be real mad at me for this one. I hated this book. I hated the main characters. The best part of this book was every other character but the main ones. They were so cringy and creepy and weird. 1 star. The Predator. This book tried so hard to be dark and serious, but it was just so silly. Overall, it was entertaining, it was fun, it was fast-paced. 3 stars. Binding 13. This is very, very heavy. Very heavy family topics. The things that the main character goes through is so heartbreaking. The thing I will say about this book is that I just wish the main characters were older. And not that I'm saying this doesn't happen to young people. What happens in this book happens all the time to kids even way younger than Shannon. But I'm just saying that they are so young and they depicted in certain scenes. The author was like 18 plus, but the characters are not 18 plus. So do you see what I'm saying? It's like the characters are so young they're not even allowed to read this book. I actually wish that I read this book when I was younger, because when I was younger, age things didn't bother me like at all. And actually, like, I don't know what to rate this book. I don't know what to rate it. It's not me scared to say a rating. I genuinely do not know what to rate this book. I don't know. I feel so much for Shannon in this. I feel so much for her. I don't know what to say. Next, we have the April books. I don't know where my video went for where I talked about Twisted Love, but it was pretty standard. Sometimes it was a little bit cringy. 2 stars. Twisted Games. I do have a thing for bodyguards and the Princess X bodyguard trope. 3 stars. Twisted Hate. Jules, you deserved so much better. She was so strong. And yet, that Jules was nowhere to be seen when the most heinous thing was said to her by the male main character. And the way she just forgave him? Jules, no. She should have never spoken a word to that man ever again, because how dare he? How dare he say what he said to her? How dare he? 1 star. Twisted Lights. This is my favorite of the series. I love Stella. I love Christian. I love the little storyline. I love the found familyness of this. 3.5 to 4 stars. Is that being too generous? I don't care. I don't even care. Oh, but he was such a stalker. Okay?
Like, Stella had an actual stalker. Some people just say that some of Christian's behaviors were a bit stalkerish, but like nothing in compared to her actual genuine stalker that then he helped her from. you know?
Caraval, such beautiful, whimsical writing, such an interesting premise, 3.75 stars. Magnolia Park's Into the Dark. This book focuses a lot less on friendships and more on Magnolia's immediate family. It is really sad. Like, this book, there's just this air of sadness surrounding it, this cloud of sadness as you're reading it. I do have a Need the Days of Hates books because there are things happening in the back of this that we don't know. When we get the Days of Hates books, we will know, but something odd is going on. Please look up trigger warnings for this book. 4 stars. Air of Fire. My favorite of the Throne of Glass series so far. I loved the Witch and the Wyvern plotline. I thought that was so interesting. It was my favorite. This book is reminding me that I need to continue reading the series because I stopped at this one, but I need to continue going. Really liked the writing style and everything was written as well. 4 stars. Now, in May, we read one book. That book was King of Pride. This book, so boring, so bland, so much telling us and not showing us. Let me know what you think of the feather scene. 1 star. Next, we get June. Never lie, I read this book when I was sick. Was it entertaining? Yes. I was also dying. I was sick. I needed something that I wasn't gonna have to think too hard about. Was it also predictable? Yes. The atmosphere was nice. You know, desolate, isolated, wintry, snowy. 2 stars. The Bulger. I loved this book. The writing and the quotes were so beautiful. Well, aside from the problematic remarks were not beautiful. I do not condone them. This book was also set in the 50s, the 1950s. I connected quite a lot. 5 stars. I hate this cover. I do wish I had the other cover, but I don't, so I'm just gonna... The Hawthorne Legacy. Wait, no, I can fix it. Hang on, I can fix it. Wait, isn't that so much better? I prefer the first one. This one, it was okay. It hasn't made me want to read the third one. Let's just put it that way. 2 stars, 1.5 really. Dead of Winter. At first, things appeared to be going well. The descriptions of the snowy landscape were really beautiful, but then it just got to be too much. Like, okay, we don't need to hear any more about the snow. We get it. It was so predictable and so long, and it dragged on, and the characters were so boring when the characters had so much potential. This book just had so much potential, and yet the plot twist was horrendous. Everyone could see it coming. It was about as subtle as a leopard print bikini. Where do I know that from? 2 stars. The House Next Door. Badly written, conjuring multiverse wannabe. 1 star. The 5-star Weekend. It's like a gossip column. It's so engaging and intriguing, and you can't look away. You just want to know what's going on. There's so much drama. It was so entertaining, so fun. This is my first book by her. I did order another book by her in like August, and it's never arrived. Was I scammed? I feel like I was scammed. So maybe she's not meant to be. I don't know. 3 stars. Book lovers. I loved Nora. I thought her sister was annoying. It was annoying how they called each other sissy, but we digress. I wish the ending was different, but you know, I suppose Nora also deserves happiness and love. Would have been better if she didn't, but... No, she deserves happiness and love. I just want to feel seen, okay? I want to read a book where the main character is lonely and no one loves her, okay? I want to read that because I will connect to that. Some parts annoy me, but you know what? It's okay. 3.75 to 4 stars. Happy Place, my favorite Emily Henry book thus far. I loved so much what this says about nostalgia and friendships and moving on. I did hate the miscommunication. I did wish there was a few more little flashback scenes. But I love this. 4.5 stars. And, you know, if you're observant, you notice that I am wearing my Happy Place shirt. So, yeah. People we meet on vacation. This was so rom-commy. It's also a cautionary tale about the girl best friend. 3 stars. Also, I know, yes, in America, it's called People We Meet on Vacation, but this one, whatever, it's you and me. I don't know why, it annoys me too. I wish it didn't go changing titles. Like, you don't have to do that. Powerless. Every single time I see this book, instead of thinking, oh, you know, I wish there was a bit more hockey, I wish there was a bit more ballet, I think about how when they were younger, and she was just still a kid, to make him feel better about his sadness and trauma, she just started dancing for him. Now, nothing romantic happens between them until they are quite aged. So it's not like a countdown situation because she's much younger than him, so it's not like he's waiting until she turns 18. You know, I feel like I really did like Jasper though. I love Jasper. To 3 stars. Now we have July. Reckless is my favorite one. I love winter. Okay. I forever love the cold, mean, main girl character. I didn't really like the little like miscommunication thing. If you know, you know. Yeah, favorite one. 3.5 to 4 stars. I also loved Theo. I really did love Theo. Yeah, so powerful. So much telling and not showing. This should have been a full-length novel. Alas, it wasn't. Now, I'm a bit confused. So, the main guy in this, I thought he died. I thought the ending scene was that he died. Like, I thought that is what happened. But everyone is like, oh, he's gonna have such a big impact in the 3rd book. And I'm like, wait, I thought the guy died. So the guy in this, he didn't die? He didn't die. But, because everyone is talking about how he's gonna be in the 3rd one, but I swear he died. So he didn't die. But the stars, the stars. I thought it was gonna be like a Evangeline and Ray situation. You know, from The Prince and the Frog? I'm confused. He didn't die? I thought he did. 2 stars. See, this is why I didn't rate these books on Goodreads. Okay, I didn't. I'm just telling you my ratings now, but I didn't rate them on Goodreads because I'm like, it feels mean. It feels mean. Jealous. Please don't be mad at me. Hopeless. Okay. That whole bathtub scene? No. Guys, read that. Read where my finger is, okay? No, it's not. I like this better than Heartless though, so still 1 star. Reckless. The ending of this, the crazy plot twist ending, was spoiled for me. However, even if it wasn't, again, it had the subtlety of being kicked in the face. I wish again there was more telling and not showing. I don't want to hear in a sentence something that would have been so interesting to actually see. I wish there was more about the world. The main characters, they were hating each other, but there was absolutely no stakes because there is only so much you can threaten someone without doing something about it. 2 stars. 1 dark window. Now you're probably wondering, what is that chunk of paper stuck in this book? Well, let me tell you, my edition was missing several of the ending chapters, so I had to find them and then print them out myself because I had a misprint. This book single-handedly made me. Now, every single book I get, I check every single page number. I cross-reference it with the ISBN number to make sure I'm looking at the right book and seeing if it's got the right number of pages for the right number of things. I then have to scour. I'm kind of squinting a little bit, but I'm looking to make sure that there's no, misprinting the pages, because trust me, when I saw that and I was like, hang on a second. Look, I had to write in here. See? Look. See? So I printed this out in case someone wants to read it of mine, and then I get a jump scare and they try to read it and then they're like, wait, where's the missing pages? Don't worry, here they are. They're all here. They're all here. Now, I like the card aspect. I like the gothic vibes, the gothic dark vibes. I'm intrigued for the next one. Would I have bought it sooner if this didn't come with missing pages? Yes. Do I also know that it's not this book's fault itself? Yes. It's the publisher's fault. But, however, I still those memories are associated with this book. The nightmare carried. But yes, I will be this year, maybe next year, maybe in a few years' time, I will read the second one. Actually, I'm going to be reading a book this year by this author anyways. I may as well just get this one done. 3 stars. The Prison Healer. Now, when I first read this, I rated this book 3 stars, but now I'm feeling a little bit agitated. I am, and I'm feeling a lot meaner than what I was when I first read this book. This book is 1 star. How dare you? This book was such a ripoff of Manacled. There are too many coincidences. In my reading vlog, at the very end, I literally go through so many instances of why it is ripped off of Manacled, and I've read Manacled so many times. I know, trust me, I know. When I say this, it's actually -10. It's not even 1 star, it's -10 stars. -1,000,000 stars. I just get so mad when I look at this book now. There is so much telling and not showing again in this book. There is some gigantic, massive incident that happens and we get told in a sentence when it's all over. And it's like, would that not have been good to see? Oh no, it wasn't. Guess what? The main character was trapped in a dark abyss, like what happens in Manacled. Exact same lines. Word for word, same lines. I'm looking at it like, how is this not plagiarism? Why is no one talking about this? Why is no one talking about this? Who wants this book? Who wants this book? I never really understood what it meant because, I have books on my shelf that I don't really like, but, this book here, it was so boring, right? First of all, so boring. So not even readable in that sense. Who wants this book? Okay, who wants it? I will give it to you. I will personally I'm not going to personally hand it over to you, but who wants it? I'll give it to you because when I look at this book, the rage that encompasses me, I'm 2 days away from my period. This is why I'm acting like this, okay? Because, I'm just feeling really antsy and angry and annoyed and irritated, and it's also really hot in my room, but I can't put my fan on because the fan makes a really irritating sound. So I'm dying a little bit of heat. So I'm angry from that. I'm angry from this. It's just, who wants it? Because when I look at it, it makes me feel really angry. And, I do understand now. I understand what it means to hate a book so much. You want it out of your sight. Because I'm like, I just don't understand how people can just unhaul books. Even if you really hate it, get this away from me. Actually, do I maybe want to read the next ones? Maybe I actually want to read the next ones. It's actually this bad. It's just a rip off of Manacled. So, okay, maybe I will hold on to it, okay? Because at least it didn't have a misprint. I'll just hold on to it. I'll maybe read the next one, and then I'll see. And then I'll see what I'm thinking. I also found, in that video, that reading vlog, I do find evidence of why I think specifically a Manacled ripoff. And I stalk the author's Instagram. Okay. Sorry, guys. Sometimes I get really passionate, and yeah, okay. Moving on to August. August slipped away like a moment in time. Because you were never mine. Stalking Jack the Ripper. It was so painfully obvious who the murderer was going to be in this book. Again, where's the subtlety? The subtlety of a flying brick. Now, the vibe of this book is dark cobblestone street at night in the pouring rain. A laboratory with dead bodies and carved up corpses. And then high society with pretty dresses and tea parties, which the main character, who is not like other girls, wants absolutely none of. Honestly, guys, I really like this. Oh, not my hair. Guys, hair, behave, please. 3 stars. It's alright. No exit. This was, very annoying characters. The character's decisions will make you kind of furious. 100% can tell that the main character girl was 100% written by a man. She was very annoying. It was alright. Plot twist was very guessable. I mean, there's not really, like, you have a very good chance of figuring out what's going on. Like, there's not very many characters in this book. 3 stars. Murder on the Orient Express. I loved the way this book was explained, how the murder was explained, how Poirot investigated everyone. My book, however, was missing a sentence. I don't know. See, One Dark Window is set up a bunch of curses. Do you know how I figured out this book was missing a sentence? And I know it's in here because I wrote it. But I found out because a detective asked a character a question and the character never answers. And I'm like, why didn't he answer? So I found a PDF online and yeah, I found it. Don't worry, I will find it. Where is it? I will show you. There we go. See, he doesn't answer. I had to write that in again, just in case someone wants to borrow this book. I can't have them missing a sentence because, you know, some people, like, it's so obvious that there was missing a sentence because it's such a question that's asking so obvious. And then also, then there's when there's a timetable of all the whereabouts, it's put in that, where is the timetable? So you eventually find out what's going on. So you'll find out, you see what I'm saying? But yeah, I was just like, okay, why am I experiencing so many misprints at the moment? Initially, I was like, maybe like 4.5 to like 5 stars. No, I'm thinking more 3.5 to 4 stars. See, I change my mind all the time. I'm very indecisive. Orgy porgy. Brave New World. This is a scary future dystopian. It is so weird in this book. I don't know how to feel. I don't know what to rate it. I'm leaning towards more of 3 stars. I don't know. A lot of people compare this to 1984. I absolutely love and adore 1984. This book, it was just like, before the coffee gets cold. It was cozy. It was okay. I wish there was a little bit more for the characters. 2.5. Emily Wild's Encyclopedia of Fairies. There's winter vibes, scholarly vibes, because she's a scholar. I love the Fae exploration from a research perspective. I love Wendell Bambleby. This book was so magical, so whimsical. I loved it. 4 stars. Girl Interrupted. I loved this so much. I love this so very much. Amazing. This follows Susanna Cason's time in a psychiatric hospital, the experiences she goes through, the people she meets. I love this book. I connected with this book so much. I love this. Next we go into September. Babel. This book is so good. This book is so incredible. It's amazing. The way the world and the world building links with these fantastical elements, but then also with colonialism and the characters and their connections and the betrayal and the sadness. It is so good. It is so well researched. It is written so well. I love this book so much. This book is so good. I want to reread this book so badly. It is so good. 6 stars. I hated this. I hated this book so much. I wish I'd never read it. 1 star. Took history. Small New England college, pretentiousness, academia, elitism, murder, mystery, the need to belong, insufferable, flawed, unlikable characters. However, it is so interesting and so intriguing and written so well. 5 stars. The only one left. 100% women written by a man. It's just, they make it so obvious. The ending made me cry. I don't think that was the intention. There were just so many icky things in this book. I'm just like, why did that need to be? Why? 2 to 3 stars. Reappearance of Rachel Price. It was pretty predictable. It was fairly long. It was okay. I much prefer A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Main character and me, we do have the same name, however. So I guess that's, yeah. 2.5 to 3 stars. The Good House. This book needs to be a movie ASAP. The way this house makes these characters and possesses them to do such despicable, heinous, irredeemable things. You know, I don't know what to rate this book. It was so twisty. It was so turny. It explores the missions of magic and how it links back generationally. It was just, this cover, I also love this cover. Now we have October, the month where I was supposed to read a lot of really spooky October-esque reads and I just didn't. Oh my god, I've been sitting here for hours. I started off with a reread of ACOTAR. I'm so glad I reread this because when I first read it, I rated it 1 star. I also said a lot of criticisms, which, you know what, those criticisms, they still stand, but I'm also like less picky. I guess the audiobook literally saved this. I've changed it to a 3 star. I am basic, okay? It also does not take much for me to be entertained. So the other books that I rated badly, there's no excuse because guess what? I rated this book 5 stars, okay? I am very easily entertained. I love the Night Court. I love the new characters that we introduced. I loved the male love interest in this book. Again, I'm basic. 5 stars. What can I say? Aqua War. Despite the tense scene and the line about, you know, the injured and dying, I love this so much. I love how everything led towards the war and the contention and fighting. I especially love the characters, personalities in this book. 5 stars. Loved it.
You were gonna have to bear with me here because I completely skip over A Court of Frost and Starlight and talk about A Court of Silver Flames, and then I completely backtrack and instead I then talk about A Court of Frost and Starlight and then I go to A Court of Silver Flames. So just, yeah, bear with me here. By this point I'd been sitting down for ages. I was tired. I was sick of hearing my own voice, so.
But then we get my favorite one. What did I say before about the cold, mean female characters? I love them. We have Nesta in A Court of Silver Flames. I love Nesta. Love Cassian. I love their relationship. My favorite so far. Oh, wait. Wait, stop. See, you know how much I love this book so much? I forgot about the novella. Sorry, guys, I'm gonna get ahead of myself. Okay. A Court of Frost and Ice. I did read this in a day because I just wanted to get this one. Which brings me to my point. I feel like my enjoyment of this would be so much more now that I've read this, because I was just reading this like, I want to get this over. I just want to read about Nesta and Cassian. I don't really care about this. Like, okay, like, yeah, I love the crumbs we get in this book of them. But also, okay. It was cute, snowy vibes. Again, I appreciate it more now. 2.5 to 3 stars. Anyways, sorry, back to this one. See, I get ahead of myself. I got so ahead of myself talking about this that I forgot about the entire book in the middle. The development, the pain, the turmoil, the guilt, the forgiveness, sisterhood, friendship, connections. Stop letting yourself be loved. Learning it's okay to be loved and to be forgiven. Stop. Do you see what I'm saying? It does not take much to entertain me. So every book that I rated badly, you had no excuse, because you know how much people hate this book series? People are like, that is the worst book I've ever read in my entire life. And yet here I am, giving it 5 stars. So, you know, like, guys, I want to read a favorite of the series. Just the metaphors in this book. The landscape, the side characters. I loved it. Then I read Go to the Woods. Oh dear. I feel like I read this book at the wrong time, because I love the fact that it was a literary mystery vibe as opposed to a thriller vibe. However, it shouldn't have been marketed as a thriller when it was mystery literary vibes. Whatever. I loved it. Again, there was a few like icky things like, what? Okay. Okay, whatever. But I do really badly want to do a reread of this. Oh, look, my nails match the pink paint. I love the cover though. I really do love this cover. Yes, but I feel like I really do want to reread this, and I feel like I will really love it. But at this point in time, I'm leaning towards a 3 star, maybe a 3.5 star, but I really was expecting more. I don't know. When I was reading this, I was literally expecting this book to be a 6-star read. I was expecting to be ravey about it, not sure about it, and then I finished it and I was like, oh. And I don't know if I'm just deluding myself into thinking if I reread it, I'll get those feelings. I don't know. Because once I finished reading it, I tried to start reading it again, and I was like, I just can't. I can't. So there's that. Then we get into November. Now, this is the month where I was like, okay, I want to read a lot of books. I was overwhelmed with my TBR, my physical TBR, so I was like, okay, we've got to read a lot. My goal was to read like 30 books this month. I didn't do that, but The Power of Three, which is a book that is based off the Charmed TV show. You know, the Witches one. It was a short, quick, easy recount of the first few episodes. Honestly, was it the first episode or the first few? I don't know. I think I don't even know how many episodes I'm into that series. It was ages ago that I read it. Okay, it was like 2 months ago, but still, it's just like not that memorable. I mean, how can it really be? It's not life-changing how I wasn't expecting it to be. 2 stars. Camilla, someone rewrite this and then give it to me. This had so much potential. 2 stars. This book, I went into this book expecting something that it was not, and what I built in my mind of what I thought this was about was so much better than what it actually was. I thought it was going to be a girls group breakdown, wrong turn type vibes, and instead it was these couples need marriage counseling and they're annoying me. It was so obvious. It was so obvious. Again, bring back plot twists. 1.5 stars. Foldcroft ghosts. Small town vibes, mystery, paranormal, creepiness, eeriness. Written kind of badly. Like, okay, maybe I should saying badly, but it's written very simply. Like 3 stars. The twisted ones. Every single time I now see this book, I'm just reminded of a man, because I mean, okay, so I did give the man the options, but he told me to pick this book. And okay, no, he's in the past. But you know, every time I see this book, I think of him. Who wants this book? Who wants it? Okay. Bidding wars now. Okay. This book was very strange and very peculiar. 3 stars. I never should have. See, this is why you don't ask men to pick what book you want to read, because now every single time you look at the book, you're going to think of them. You don't want to be thinking of that. YA Criminal Minds. Love this. Low triangle situation again. Prefer this to the Inheritance Games. Why is Switching? This book is so good. It's so creepy. There's horror elements, fairy tale elements, what the hell is going on elements. So eerie, so creepy, so peculiar, upside down, topsy-turvy. I'm obsessed with the writing style. I love the quotes. 4.5 stars. I feel like if I was to reread it a couple more times, it's gonna be 5 star. I love this. Funny. Again, I love this. I love this book. Again, peculiar, upside down, topsy-turvy. What on earth is going on? So satirical, so cliquey, so mean girl vibes. And then we just have these crazy rituals and happenings, situations, and it's like, it's 5 stars. Next, we have Heartstopper 1 and Heartstopper 2. I love these. These were so wholesome and cute. I absolutely love the graphics. Some people were like, oh, they're so basic. I don't think so. I think that this author has such incredible talent. Like, I can't draw. You're telling me that's basic? I don't think so. I quite love this, actually. Okay, I don't know where that accent came from. But yes, love the storyline. So cute. So wholesome. I love these. Magical creatures. Wait, hang on. The spell shop. Magical creatures. So whimsical. So beautiful. Such beautiful writing. A jam shop. A magical jam shop. I love the island vibes and all the characters and the forbidden aspect of, you know, the whole smuggling out the books with all the magic in it. But then the library's being burned down. And then, okay, the escape part, because she has to actually escape from the world. And the loneliness, and how the main character is so lonely. Her only friend is a plant. But then, you know, she builds connections with people and the romance blooms. And it shows that, you know, you can be lonely. You can still deserve good things. Good things still deserve to happen to you. Love this. Love this. You guys, it's got trapped underneath my couch. And now it's a bit more dented than it's supposed to be. As Studying and Drowning, this cover is absolutely beautiful, can I just say? There are so many beautiful covers this year. This is the first one I've allowed myself to comment on. Because otherwise, you'd just be hearing me say, wow, this cover is so beautiful every 5 seconds, and no one wants to hear that. But I figure if you're this far into the video, you can probably sacrifice a few sentences of me talking not about the book itself. All right, now I really like this. I would say there are some fairy tale elements to this, but kind of like old school, more darker fairy tale. Kind of like not really fairy tale, but like, you know, King Arthur and like the Knights of the Round Table. Kind of like that kind of fairy tale-esque vibe. But like, it feels like not really fairy tale, but like it's that old medieval, but like not medieval, but like goblins, but like not goblins. But like that kind of like fairy tale kind of vibe. Not like the princesses and... Okay. Does that make any sense? Like elves, but like not elves. Okay, I'm doing a very bad job of explaining this. I'm hoping you get what I'm saying. I love the academic aspects of this. There were some problematic aspects of the main character's personality that weren't really explored. And I felt like if you're gonna have a character that is that prejudiced, there needs to be like some development, and there just wasn't. It was just one day she was really prejudiced against this dude for being a different race than her, and then she was then just like, oh, I don't like that anymore. And it's like, okay. December was not really rectified, and I feel like it should have been. 3.5 stars. Then we have another graphic novel. We have Fangs. It was so funny, so cute, so not serious. Just basically a what could happen if a vampire and a werewolf were dating in a really like funny, humorous way. I absolutely loved the drawings. I can't find it, but there's a scene where she gets set on fire in the middle of the day and the sunshine gets on her. Like, okay, obviously that's not funny, but I'm just saying. Like, okay, I found it. See, that's like the vibe of it. I'm not rating it, but loved it. I just feel like it's not okay to... I don't feel right about rating graphic novels, really. Next, we have Heartstopper 3. Again, I love this. There is more development of the characters and their relationships, and there was more discussion about serious topics in this. Next, we have Animal Farm. Now, originally, I was thinking 4 stars, but upon further thinking, it has to be 5 stars. Okay, maybe 4.5. Actually, maybe I'm saying it 4.5. 4.75. This book was really good. It's so short and I just wish it was longer. At its base core level, animals who take over the farm. Does that sound familiar? Barnyard took inspiration from this. Barnyard, the cinematic masterpiece that is. But this book is so much more than that. It is such a satirical commentary on so many political systems, and it explores so much of power and control, and explores, okay, well, who gets to decide how things are, and the people who decide to run things, what happens when the power gets to their head, now they're changing everything. It's just, this book was so good and so deep, and I love it. Okay, I love it. Next up, Kiss of Darkness. Same thing as I said about the first one. I mean, it was okay. Again, not life-changing. I think I do prefer the first one over this one, though. 2 stars. Half before. This is the prettiest cover, hands down. But please, please, please check the trigger warnings of this book, okay? Please. Because there's very heavy topics explored in this. Very, very heavy. Things that are very important to be talked about in books, but also can be very triggering. And the things that are in this book, they're quite competitive aspects of mental illness, if you know what I'm saying. So just be very careful. You don't know what I mean by that? That's okay. Don't worry about it. The Haunting of Hill House. I was anticipating to read this book for years upon years upon years. And then I read it, and yeah, it was okay. I think I was just expecting more. I think I built it up so much in my mind, and then it wasn't necessarily where I was expecting or what I built it up to be. It was fine. I liked it. 3.5 stars. Persuasion. Ah, yes. The age-old second chance romance. I really like this. I really love all the discussions of society and class and what that means for relationships again. And, you know, finding someone again, and the discussion surrounding that and why you couldn't be together and blah, 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 blah. I really like this. I feel like 3.5, 3.75 to 4 stars in that realm. Then we have Heartstopper 5. Again, I love this. I'm so excited for the next one. Apparently it's gonna be the final one though, so that's kind of sad. But yes, loved it. The Friend Zone. Now, I was very disappointed with this book, and it left me with a bad taste in my mouth. I don't like what was being implied about infertility and biological children. And, you know, then at the end, it's like, the author is like, well, guys, it was never about the infertility. It was never about that. But also, I just think they're very delicate topics. And I feel like they were trampled in this book. I did not like the implications, because whether or not that was the intention, the implications about biological children and infertility, I just did not like it. I did not like it. I think this could have been so impactful and so powerful, but I think when you're dealing with such heavy topics that so many people experience and go through, you have to be careful. It could have been handled a lot better. That is my personal opinion, okay? We can, again, agree, disagree, because I know that a lot of people love this book. And again, the main character, she's not 100% like other girls. There's literally an entire paragraph talking about how she's so different and she like drinks beer and whatever. And the main guy, he loves it about her. He loves that she's not like other girls. He loves that she's so quirky and different. And there is just, again, a lot of miscommunication in this book. It's like the characters need to sit down and have a conversation. 1.5 stars. The last book from November, like I read quite a lot in November. I liked the one that was his famous aspect. I wish there was more of it though. Especially when the guy went on tour. I wish there was more of that. Very interesting. I'm still waiting on Lola Simone's book. She's mentioned in so many of Miss Abby Hanna's books. I want a Lola Simone book, okay? I know she gets hyper after. I want it. This book follows falling in love after loss and grief. I did prefer it to the first one, okay? 3 stars. Now we go into December. I read kind of a lot of books in December. Quite a lot of them are Christmas books. And now it is not Christmas. I feel kind of weird talking about Christmas books. The way I started this video talking about a Christmas book and I'm ending it off. Wow. Isn't it so crazy how life works? Yeah, The Tempest of Tea. Vampires, Peaky Blinders, heists. That is the vibe of this book. I love this world. 3.75 to 4 stars. Killjoy. It's a prequel novella to the Good Girls Guide to Murder series. It's a 1920s murder mystery party. It does a good job of linking things with the actual series itself. I like that. It is quite short, didn't touch my life, therefore 2 stars. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I loved this book. I read it for the first time when I was 16. I did a reread. I loved it. I somehow forgot a lot of what happened. Initially, I was literally in my mind, when every time I thought about this book, what happened was Andy and Sal, they weren't actually dead. They had just run away and they pretended to be dead and they set up their own deaths, but they weren't actually. They were actually ran away and they're happy and in love somewhere. That is not what happened at all. At all. At all. I don't know where I got that notion. I don't know why I had that in my mind, but that was not the case. I love the mixed media. I really love Pip's character. Yes, sometimes she's a bit judgmental and irritating and annoying and a bit pretentious, but I loved her. 4 stars. Next, we have Life's Too Short. I like the dog. I liked the mailman character. I thought he was very suave. I'm never saying that word again. It's the single guardian trope. A lot of family drama. 3 stars. Good Girl, Bad Blood. My favorite out of the series. I love this book. I love the continuation of the story, of Pip's story. I love her character and again, her personality, how that changes and devolves almost in this book, and just the trauma that Pip faced in this book. Poor Pip. I loved the real world discussions about the things that go on in this book. 4.5 stars. Sally's Lament. I wish I read this when I was younger. It's basically The Nightmare Before Christmas written if Sally had discovered Christmas Town first before Jack. I'm not reading this, but again, I wish I read this when I was younger. I feel like I would have really eaten it up because I love The Night Before Christmas. You can't see it because I put this blanket up, but there is an ornament. The Nightmare Before Christmas ornament. Can you see the ornament there? Yeah. I have a quote here that I wrote in my Goodreads. Honestly, my goal for next year is to put some more oomph into my Goodreads, because the Goodreads really gives me nothing. A lot of the times the books I just said I read it, I didn't even give it a rating. So that's really not helpful in this kind of situation. But this is a quote, okay? A rotisserie chicken had... Okay, sorry. A rotisserie chicken had once been tossed on stage and should rip off a leg mid-air and chomped into it without missing a lyric. This book was absolutely ridiculous. It was also kind of funny. It's a little bit on the longer side for a Christmas book. It was alright. 2 stars. I definitely enjoyed it much more than I was expecting. I did also annotate it, so anytime there was irritating things, you annotate, it makes you feel better. Trust me. The mistletoe motive, I really liked the representation in this book. However, it just wasn't for me. I found it was very... This way things written, the dialogue, not for me. 1 star. A Winter in New York. This book dragged. It dragged. This is supposed to be a Christmas book. It was... Yeah. She just needed to spit out the truth about this gelato. Just like, get it out, girl. 2 stars. The Christmas Party. It was alright for a Christmas thriller. I'm not opposed to continuing the series. There's a few more books in the series. I'm not opposed to it. Although now I don't know if I will. I mean, at first when I read this, I was like, yeah, I can definitely see myself reading the next ones. But now I'm like, can I? Can I really? 2.5 stars. The Christmas Bookshop. I actually really like this. It was ridiculous. It was very Hallmark movie. The conversations and the dialogue was very much like, oh, this would, like, what is going on? But I honestly love this. One of the better Christmas books, I would say. 3 stars. Next, we have A Court of Sugar and Spice. This is a dark, just a kind of like darker Nutcracker retelling. I actually really like this. Don't know what that says about me. Okay, 3.75 stars. Midwinter Murder. This book is like a box of chocolates. A chocolate box of Christmas thriller novellas. Some you like, some you don't. Guys, I'm getting antsy from sitting down. I don't know how long I've been sitting down for. Ow. The Book Club Hotel. This book was quite cozy. There's themes of friendship, of love, of loss, of grief. Moving on after that. What it means to be in different stages of your life. Again, one of the better Christmas books. 3.75 stars. The Nutcracker. This book was much darker than the Barbie movie. Honestly, I really like this. I did, and it's really short. Like, it's even shorter than this because there are other books. This book is like, it's less than 100 pages. Like, I like this. Next, we have A Christmas Carol. I like how this is now officially an annual reread for me. I'm going to read it every single year. This was the last year, second year that I read it. I love this. I loved it. I love the ghosts, where the story was written. I love the discussion of greed and redemption, forgiveness, and the little illustrations of the book. That could have been a book. That could have been... That guy looks like Chucky. Okay, well, for a second... Okay, for a second, I just saw Chucky. Looking up close... No, it's not. Then also, there's a small kid on the back. This, again, A Christmas Carol is quite short. There's a whole bunch of other short stories in here, so I could have just showed you an illustration to a completely wrong book. I don't know. 5 stars. The last book I read, but it's not the last one I'm talking about. Just wait a second, because I'm getting to it. I'm getting to it. I mean, it's 130 book. Actually, was that 113? I don't know. I feel like it's could be wrong. Whatever. Next, we have Agatha Christie's Poirot's Christmas. Basically, this old man who's dying invites his entire family back for Christmas for like reunion. Someone dies. No, it tells you in the back who dies. I'm not telling you who dies. We don't find out who dies for a little bit into the book. Like, in fact, I didn't even read the back of the book. Well, I did. I started reading the back of the book. I didn't read all the way, so I didn't know who died. And then who died, I was like, he died? I was like, someone died. And I was like, they died? Ah! And this is kind of written in the back, so don't read the back if you want to go in blind, because I feel like it's better to go in without knowing who's going to die. It was very interesting. Everything piecing together, how different things like link together, and, you know, the family, greed and family drama, family dynamics, all that kind of stuff. I don't know what to rate though. So, what should I rate this book? I'm leaning to like the 3 and 4 star category. Guys, I've got horrendous cramps right now. So now I'm going to talk about medical. Now, the reason why I can't pinpoint when I read this was because I am constantly in a state of reading medical. Constantly in a state of rereading it. I start reading it, I finish reading it, I immediately read it again. Finish, read it. And I don't log it because I'm just like, okay, people don't need to know how much I actually reread that. Like, it's a lot. Okay, I feel very strongly about medical. I love it. And I feel a bit nervous talking about medical because I'm just like, well, I just don't really, people don't like it. I just really want to hear it. It's not very healthy. I know it's not, you know, because people can like different things to you. I know that. I remember, people can like different things to you. So if there's books in here that I drag that you absolutely love, that's okay, because you know what? You know the books that I love, I guarantee there are people who drag them through the mud. So I'm like, it's okay. But I love medical. 6 stars. Amazing. I love it. Guess who's actually in the middle of rereading it again? Me. Okay, that is that. Those are all the books I read in 2024. Did I think I was going to make this video? No. Ow. I've been sitting down for too long. I feel like my leg is in pain. My leg is definitely in pain. I was like, I feel like there's a lot of work to do this. And you know what? It's been fun. I've got no regrets. Well, aside from the fact that my leg is in severe pain. Look, how I got the books, they're kind of like a little... Oh, that's kind of cute. Doesn't want me looking much. Like I'm in a leaning tower of books, but that's actually really cute and aesthetic. Okay, that is that. I'm tired. I need to lay down. Let me know what you think about the books I read. I want to know what some of your favorite books were, some of your like no favorite books were, the first book you read, the last book you read, all that stuff. Thank you so much for watching. If you're still here, I love you. I love you so very much. And yeah, I'm gonna go now, and I guess I'll see you in my next one. Bye. Is this going to annoy me that all of them are out of order and definitely not when I read them? Yeah, but I'm not doing anything about it. Wait, guys, isn't it so funny that the very first book that I finished reading in January was Beach Read, and the main character's name in that book is January? Also, how am I supposed to get these books out? This is gonna actually be so difficult to do. This is the worst system I could have come up with. Oof! That stack almost just toppled over. That is not very good. Well, I mean, you can't even see the books. Wait, what do I think of this book? Wait, this is gonna be hard. I have to think of everything on the spot. Ah, what do? Okay. Be calm. Okay, I'm calm and serene. I'm just talking about books, there's nothing to be allowed. I'm just talking about books. It's just casually me talking to you about the books, every single book I read. Guys, I'm overwhelmed. I don't really want to do this. But I have to do it. I have to because I stacked all these books and I did not drag them all down here just for me to not make this video and for me to check now. Okay, give me a second.